Well, hey y'all, today we're going to do another vintage recipe, and this is an ancient, well, I don't know if it's ancient, but it's a really old recipe, and it's probably, in my opinion, the best way to eat the old iceberg head of lettuce. What I have done, I have washed it very, very well, and I cut the end off that had the root on it. Now, if it was summer outside and the ground was warm, I would have planted that out in the soil and just see what happens, because I just love to do that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make two different salads. I'm going to do more of the typical way on mine, and he likes honey mustard. So I'm just got it standing up on its end, and I'm just going to slice and dice it, y'all. I'm just going to cut it that, let's see how we want to do this. There we go. I'm just going to lay this down like this and cut it there and cut it there. It's going to be fine, y'all, ever how it works out. But we do want it to try to stand up. Let me get this little piece right back up in there. There we go. And it's a pretty presentation. And you could do small wedges of this and put it in a little cup and dress it, and it could be kind of like finger food at that point. So what I am going to do, let's see, which one's the largest? I think this is the largest, so I'm going to let him have this one. And what I'm going to do to his, now I will attach the honey mustard dressing that I made to go with his, and this is great on sandwiches as well. And I'm just going to drizzle. And you do want to get some on the plate so you can slide your lettuce around and get a little bit more dressing on there. Okay. Now, if I thought ahead and made croutons, that would have been even better, wouldn't it? I'm just now thinking about that. I do have a Roma tomato that I seeded, and I'm just going to sprinkle a few of the tomatoes around. And also, I have some green onions. I'm just going to put just a few green onions. And I cooked some bacon in the oven. And I'll include how I did that on this video also. And I'm just going to crumble some bacon up. Now, how easy is that, y'all? And you could put together, let's see, let's do a whole piece, because I cut these in two whenever I was cooking them. So we're just going to, there we go. How easy is that? Okay, now on mine, I'm going to do everything the same, except I'm going to have blue cheese dressing on mine. And if you had used buttermilk, which I did not, and you'll see how I did it, but if you'd used buttermilk, this would not be keto. But because I did not use buttermilk, this could be considered a keto blue cheese dressing. And I'm just going to drizzle, put a little on the plate for pretty. And these dressings will last up to a week or so, probably longer, but you just have to use your best judgment on that. And I'm going to put a few green onions on mine, and just a few. And I can't wait for tomato season so we can get some fresh tomatoes from the farmer's market. And I'm going to take a little bacon and put on top of it. Let it just fall down to the sides. Let's put this other one here. I have successfully used every spoon that I brought over here, y'all. So I'm just going to use my fork that I'm going to taste this with. And I'm just going to put a few more blue cheese crumbles just around to make it look pretty and festive. Okay, there it is, y'all. How pretty is that? Can y'all see that? Look at that. We have elevated the lowly iceberg lettuce to something that looks fancy schmancy. So, and you can cut it down the middle, and but I'm just going to cut it down here for the side so we can get just a little bite of this. See what we think. This blue cheese dressing is going to go great with the chicken wings that I've cooked up. I'll put that in a separate video. There's nothing like something fresh This is a hit, y'all. Okay, y'all go do something fun, and we're gonna eat, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I want to tell you, I do appreciate so much the ones of you that like and follow and share my recipes. If there's a home cook that you enjoy watching, share the love. Share and like and follow their recipes. There's just a lot of sweet, sweet people out there in internet land that are home cooks. I've made really good friends with 3 of them. Farm Cooking with Nan and Kathy's Southern Kitchen and Southern Stirred. I love these gals, y'all. They're so sweet, and they're sweet in real life as they are whenever y'all watch them. So now we're going to eat, and we'll see you next time. This is a very easy and quick honey mustard salad dressing or honey mustard spread for your sandwiches. It's very easy to throw together. Now, this particular recipe calls for 1/4 of these products. But you could double this, you could half it, but I will include the original recipe in the verbiage at the top. But I've used a wide mouth jar, and I did use my immersion blender to blend it. You could use a regular blender, you could use a whisk, but it'll take a little longer with a whisk because the mayonnaise is kind of clumpy. But I have 1/4 cup of honey, 1/4 cup of mustard. Now this is Dijon, but you can use yellow mustard if you like, or any kind of Grey Poupon, whatever you have. You can just use any mustard. And then 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, the juice of 1/2 lemon, and I blend this up. Now, if I'm using yellow mustard, a lot of times I'll need to go back and add a little bit more or a little apple cider vinegar. But this recipe doesn't call for it because I find with this I don't need the extra. But that is what is in this jar. And so I'm going to get this cleaned up, and I'm going to show you the blue cheese dressing that we're also going to have today. Now this is going to be our blue cheese dressing, and we're going to use this as our salad dressing and also with our chicken wings that I'm cooking. But this is a half a recipe, but I'll include this at the top also. I have 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, which was half of this lemon that we didn't use a while ago. It does call for 3 drops of hot sauce, which we don't care for that, so I left it out, but you could do that. And then 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire and 1/4 teaspoon of minced garlic. And the blue cheese, it says 1.5 ounces, but I'm just going to, let's see, we're just going to eyeball this. Some people like more, some people like less. And it depends on what the size of your crumbles are. And so, I don't know. This is probably what y'all think. 3-4 tablespoons. Now, I did use my immersion blender whenever I was mixing this to make sure that these 2 things were really smooth. Obviously not going to use the immersion now. I'm just going to use my little wooden spoon here. Now, these wide mouth jars are so practical to keep around the house. Now, I had been buying big boxes of cereal because things are getting a little scant around here. And in the great big wide mouth jars, I've been vacuum sealing them. Let me show you what I've been using. Hang on a minute, y'all. I ordered these off of Amazon. One of these days we'll do a real video on this, but the way you would use these, you put your flat cap on. Well, let me show you on this honey mustard what you would do. You would put your flat cap on, and then you would take, this is the largemouth, so I would use the largemouth, slip it over the top. There's a little tube that you connect this to your vacuum sealer and push go, and it vacuum seals it. And y'all, whenever it's done like that, you can actually, how am I going to get that out of there? You can actually pick this up by the, I'll do that later. You can actually pick this up, and it is sealed. Now, it's not canned, and it's not water bathed. But it's good for like dried cereal, dried rice, beans, anything that's a dry product. You can vacuum seal it like that, and it'll keep longer on the shelf for you. I kind of chased a rabbit on that one, didn't I? Alrighty, now I have my oven going, and I need to check on my bacon, and I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, and we'll get back together when it's time to eat. Okay, y'all, the bacon is out of the oven. What I did, I took just regular parchment paper, and I tore off the sides of it to fit my pan. And you know how it kind of lays, it doesn't lay right. If you wad it up and run it under some running water and flatten it back out, it will lay perfectly flat. Now what I did on this, let me get around here. What I did on this bacon, I just took my container and I cut it in half. I don't know if you can see it, but I cut that in half so they'd be easier to handle. And I just put them on this unsprayed parchment paper. And I heated the oven to 400. And it will depend on the temperature of your bacon and the thickness of your bacon. So there's no way I can tell you exactly what it will take. Now I check mine at 10 minutes and then 5. And then I do it every minute after that until it's really done. And you can do this to your heart's desire of crunchiness. This took 26 minutes at 400. Now I am going to leave that oven on because I've got something else that I'm going to put in there. But I'm going to put this on a towel-lined thing to kind of get the grease off. Now because I'm a good Southern girl and I got a big thing of grease, bacon grease in my refrigerator, I don't really need this, y'all. So I guess it's going to die in vain. But anyway, I have plenty and it's going to be fine. So I'm going to put this away and let this cool. And I'll see y'all next time.